Opening day at Yankee Stadium, always a great day. Of course, lots of those numbers are on the injured list now. The biggest one is Aaron Judge, and Aaron Boone delivered the bad news before Sunday's game.
Strained oblique, pretty significant strain in there. Once we get through these first couple weeks, then we'll have a better timeline for you, but it'd be kind of vague right now.
Yikes! What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to the show. I'm Chris Williamson. Ahead, we'll have much more on Aaron Judge's injury, while James Paxton put on a show for the Yanks against the Royals. Plus, the Mets dealt with injury concerns of their own after Robinson Cano got pelted against the Cards, and Noah Syndergaard turned in another lackluster performance. Let's get right to it in St. Louis. Rubber game on Sunday between the Mets and Cardinals. Syndergaard on the hill as the Mets seek to break even on their 10-game road trip. Opposing Thor is Dakota Hudson, and a pitcher that Pete Alonso is very familiar with going back to their college days. And Pete absolutely obliterates a 1-0 pitch from Hudson. Now take another look at where this one actually lands. 444 feet away from home plate. Mets with a quick 1-0 lead. But Syndergaard would labor through the second. After giving up the lead, he now faces Paul Goldschmidt with the bases loaded and 2 outs. And Goldie shoots one up the middle to drive in the tie-breaking runs. Cards hang a 3-spot on Syndergaard in the second to grab a 3-1 lead. And there was more trouble for Noah in the third. Now, a 4-1 game, Dexter Fowler plates another run with an RBI double. Jose Martinez scores from second. Cardinals with a 5-1 lead, but Fowler must have felt bad about adding to Noah's troubles because he shows some unexpected generosity in the next inning. Syndergaard lifts one to left center, which Fowler measures, but he can't squeeze the ball as it deflects over the wall for a home run. A humbling blunder for Fowler leads to Noah's 5th career homer to make this a 5-2 game. But the biggest story from this game occurred in the 7th. Robinson Cano drilled on the hand by an Andrew Miller pitch. Cano in serious pain as he would leave the game. X-rays, though, came back negative. But somehow third base umpire Paul Emmel ruled that Cano swung at the pitch, so it goes down as a strike 2 instead of a hit by pitch. This causes Mickey to go nuclear and earn his 2nd ejection of the season. Mets fall by a 6-4 final, and the skipper was understandably furious over the Cano at bat.
I was shocked, to be honest. Sitting there trying to figure out, what we're going to do the rest of the game, who's going to pinch run for Robbie, and they mosey on down and say that he swung. So I was shocked. Robbie started walking back to the dugout, and Paul came down and talked to the home plate umpire, and they said, oh, by the way, he swung.
I don't like to say anything about the umpire, but I think those situations like that, you got to make sure or find out whether the ball hits the hitter. So if he hits in my bottom hand, I get it, left hand, but it was on my right hand, which is the front hand. And I don't think you'll be able to swing if you get hit in that hand. You're not going to be able to swing and then get hit.
Back to Thor. Here are the numbers. The last 3 starts for Syndergaard presented by Geico, and they resemble nothing like a superhero. His ERA is almost 6 through his first 5 starts, and he was pretty blunt when asked about it after the game.
To be quite honest, just the entire beginning of this season, my performances have been unacceptable. I have to be better. I will be better. There's no excuses for it.
What's the frustration level for you? You've never really been through a stretch like this when you've been fully healthy and feeling good.
Frustration's pretty high right now. It's been a great win today, but I let the team down.
We'll get more reaction later in the show from Nelson Figueroa on Syndergaard's struggles, as well as Mickey Callaway's ejection due to the bizarre play involving Robinson Cano. To the Yankees, and it was another stellar start for James Paxton on Sunday, but he did not get a decision in a wild one at the stadium. Now, with all the injuries, it was a chance for some younger Yanks to make an impact, including New Jersey native Mike Ford. Yanks up 1-0 in the second. Ford goes the other way for his first big lead hit, a double. He later scored to make it 2-0 Yankees. Now, as for James Paxton, he had another big day on the mound. He struck out the side in the third, and at one point recorded 8 consecutive outs via strikeout, 6 innings of scoreless ball for the Big Maple. 5th inning now. It's another Yankee young gun doing damage. Clint Frazier sends one out to deep left with 2 men on. A 3-run homer lifts the Yanks to a 5-0 lead. They're cruising, baby. Now, 8th inning, Adam Ottavino gave up a 2-run double after inheriting a bases-loaded situation. The next batter he faces, Alex Gordon, and he blasts one that clears the fence in right center. That 3-run shot ties the game at 5. The next Royals batter is Hunter Dozier, and he makes it back-to-back home runs for Kansas City as they take their first lead of the game at 6-5. Aaron Boone, a little concerned, I would say. Bottom half of the inning, Austin Romine at the plate, and he delivers a hit with a runner in scoring position. Mike Tauchman scores. Yankees tied up at 6. 10th inning, Yanks in business after a pair of walks and a sac bunt. Romine at the dish once again. He ends it with his first ever Major League walk-off hit. Tauchman touches home. The Yankees mob Romine as they get the series win and the 7-6 victory. Here's Sweeney Murdy with more.
A day after losing Aaron Judge in a never-ending season of injuries, the Yankees could have hung their heads after blowing a 5-0 lead. But with newcomers like Mike Tauchman and Tyro Estrada laying the groundwork, Austin Romine put on his veterans leadership hat to give the Yankees 5 wins in their last 6 games.
We're finding a pretty good way to do it. We're still winning games. We got guys stepping up left and right. We got guys that are hitting pretty high up in the lineup right now that necessarily wouldn't. But, we're all about doing our job here.
We're really lucky to have a guy like Austin Romine that, is technically our backup catcher, but, it plays such an important role. The respect he carries in that room, what he brings on those days. Last year we saw the power start to come a little bit. So he's capable, especially right now at the bottom of the order, of providing a little spark there.
No decision next to his name in this one. James Paxton had his second straight dominant effort. Back-to-back 12 strikeout performances with 0 runs allowed. Nobody in MLB has done that in 4 years since Chris Sale and Clayton Kershaw. Paxton starting to show his ace material.
Kind of dominant again. And I didn't think his stuff was quite the same as the Boston game where he had that overpowering stuff, but I thought the command was really good.
Of course, this is just one game, and the Yankees are a better team with Aaron Judge than without. How's he feeling? When will he be back? Well, you'll hear Judge answer those questions himself a little bit later in the show. From Yankee Stadium, I'm Sweeney Murdy, SNY.
That is correct, Sweeney. Judge will fill us in on how this injury compares to the one that cost him the last 2 weeks of the 2017 season in a little while. Meanwhile, the fallout continued Sunday from the Nets-Sixers skirmish during Saturday's Game 4, except this time the Nets came out on the short end. We'll tell you how later in the show as well. But up next, we talk football. The NFL draft is just days away. And no, we don't have a mock draft for you, I promise. But we will fill you in on some of the guys the Jets and Giants are looking at. That and more as Geico Sports Night rolls on when we return.
Geico Sports Night is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Keep going, man. You got it.
If you ride, you get it. Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
The unknown beyond the horizon. That was once our frontier. But today, a new frontier has risen. And this is the vehicle crafted to conquer it. Introducing the first of its kind Lexus UX and UX-F Sport. Also available in hybrid all-wheel drive.
Lease the 2019 UX 200 for $329 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
The rule of 3 states, things that come in threes are inherently more appealing. We couldn't agree more. Three SUVs, one GMC. Current eligible non-GM owners get nearly $9,500 total value on this Acadia Denali. Or current eligible non-GM lessees get this low-mileage lease on this all-wheel drive Acadia SLE1 for around $199 per month.
For one night this spring, winter is here. April 27th, the first 25,000 fans will receive the Game of Thrones Noah Syndergaard bobblehead. Tickets at Mets.com/tickets.
Introducing the Genesis G70, North American Car of the Year. Lease a 2019 Genesis G70 2.0 Turbo all-wheel drive from $389 per month for 36 months. Visit your local Genesis retailer.
The storylines that have the New York sports culture buzzing through the lens of social media reaction. The Threat, presented by Citi. Weekdays at 5, only on SNY.
Time for WB Mason post-game live. Makes a great grab. It's out of here.
This is huge for this group.
That inning was crazy, man.
Here's Mickey Callaway. We need that energy. That's what we need.
And the Mets win the ball game.
Welcome back. We're getting closer and closer to the NFL Draft Thursday, and if you're a Jets fan, big decision at number 3. Do you take Josh Allen? And for the Giants fanatics, will the team surprise some people and take QB Dwayne Haskins at number 6? Speaking of decisions to make in the draft, we now bring in SNY NFL draft analyst Rich Sermonello. Let's start with the Jets. If you're them at number 3 and you have a choice between Quinnen Williams or Josh Allen, who would you take in your opinion?
Chris, I don't think you could lose with this decision. I think the Jets are in a great position to get an elite defensive prospect. I have to go with Quinnen Williams, and I'll tell you why. Quinnen's type of talent from the interior, just a little bit rarer than Josh's. Not a knock on Josh Allen, big fan. Love what he does in coverage as a pressure guy. But Quinnen Williams in the interior, every time I interview a quarterback, every time I talk to a quarterback and I say, what is the toughest thing for you to deal with in the pocket? That is the up-the-gut pressure. That's exactly what Quinnen Williams could do.
Yeah, Quinnen Williams, Alabama product. Everybody loves those big boys, so he would be a force on the Jets' defensive front. Now, our SNY NFL insider, Ralph Vacchiano, asked Jets fans what the team should do at number 3. 34% want to trade down, 30% want Josh Allen, 28% want Quinnen Williams, 8% want Ed Oliver. So if the Jets do decide to trade down, how far should they go based on the depth of this draft class?
It's going to be fascinating on Thursday night because this is obviously in play. Jets possibly want more draft choices, maybe get that second rounder back that they lost last year in grabbing Sam Darnold. If I'm trading back, I need to have an elite offensive lineman. For me, that's Jonah Williams, Jawan Taylor out of Florida. I don't think you can go beyond 10, Chris. I think you got to be in the top 10 in order to get one of those guys.
All right, so let's go back to pass rusher one more time. If the Jets wanted Ed Oliver, where do you think realistically they could get him?
One of my favorite players in the entire draft. For some reason, people got cold on Ed Oliver. I don't understand it. Maybe it was the dust-up with Major Applewhite last year, some durability. I love this kid. He has crazy hips. His change of direction at that size is outstanding. Came into the pre-draft process a little bigger than I thought, which is a good thing. I think he's going to be gone by 8. I think people are going to be surprised. I think Ed Oliver is going to go a little bit sooner than maybe the mock drafts are projecting.
Okay, so now switching to the Giants, do you think Dwayne Haskins is the guy at number 6? I know there are a lot of people who say Haskins' stock has fallen ever since the pro day. Do you think they should take him?
I do. I think the time is now in order to get the successor to Eli Manning. You're not going to get Kyler Murray. Looks like he'll go number 1 to Arizona. To me, the clear-cut next best thing would be Dwayne Haskins. Good size, love his arm talent. He's got a lot of moxie. He's got a bit of a bomber's mentality. And again, people have said to me, well, he only has 1 year of experience. That's a concern. That's not a concern for me. That's a reason to be excited. In that 1 year, Chris, 50 touchdown passes, broke Big Ten records. So I think the best is still ahead for Dwayne Haskins. He has it between the ears, has the arm talent. I think he could be a starter as soon as Eli's ready to hang it up.
But to play devil's advocate, I mean, he's only had 1 year, so you might think, okay, that's a fluke season, right? Do you agree with?
No, I don't. No. I don't agree with that. I understand the sentiment. Maybe he's the product of that Ohio State talent, all of those great wide receivers, the Paris Campbells, KJ Hills, Terry McLaurin. I don't see it that way. I think as a 1 year starter, he exceeded expectations. Go back to 2017. Look at that game against Michigan when he came off the bench. J.T. Barrett was injured. That kid was unflappable in his first real test against Michigan. I think he's got a bright future. I'm all in. I'm bullish on Dwayne Haskins.
Okay, well, you know more than me, so we should trust your opinion more than mine now. Ralph asked on Twitter what QB the Giants should take in this draft, and 50% said they want Haskins, 29% said nobody, let's stick with Eli Manning forever, 12% Drew Lock, 9% Daniel Jones. How do you see that?
Yeah, the fact that it's 9% on Daniel Jones, I hope Dave Gettleman is listening, because to me, I think he's one of the most overrated prospects amongst the quarterbacks. I think he's really a second or third round talent at this point, Chris. If you need a quarterback, it's got to be a Dwayne Haskins, possibly Drew Lock at 17. I think Drew Lock has better arm talent and a higher ceiling than Daniel Jones.
All right, now, so Ralph also did a mock draft for the G-Men, and he has him selecting Montez Sweat. Thoughts on Sweat and what he can bring to the table?
Love Montez Sweat, love the length, his ability to get around the edge. Don't love it at number 6. Now, if Montez Sweat is available at 17, I say jump all over it. The other thing to keep in mind, too, and every team's going to handle this a little bit differently, has a heart condition right now. The medical tests he has passed up to this point, but are you willing to take the number 6 overall pick with someone who has a potential heart condition that could threaten his career? That would concern me. Great kid, former Michigan State transfer. I think he's got a bright future. Number 6, a little bit rich for my blood.
So maybe 17 if he's still available.
Agreed.
All right, so you've covered a lot of drafts. What's your favorite part about covering the draft, man?
These days I love the fashion, to be honest with you. I love what the guys are pulling out. Go back to the 70s and the 80s. I mean, they had suits that were off the rack. Now everything is customized. Love the suits. Love the fact that you get to see in the green room these kids having an opportunity to not only fulfill that dream, Chris, but to do it with their family, the true, genuine emotion that you see. This is a human sport. This is a human moment for these kids. As a fan of it, I love to watch that.
And those are the moments that you live for, the tears, them hugging their moms or their dads. It's just so beautiful to watch them realize their dreams in the NFL. Rich Sermonello, thanks so much for stopping by.
Chris.
And you can catch more of Rich Sermonello and our Jets crew on the Jets Nation Draft Day special presented by Redbox On Demand this Thursday at 7 p.m. only on SNY. Now, when Geico Sports Night returns, one of the bright spots for the Mets on Sunday was Pete Alonso, but was he even supposed to be in the lineup? We'll explain that next. And Kenny Atkinson's guys will face elimination Tuesday night. And they will also be a man down as well. Kind of. That and more when we return on Geico Sports Night.
It's time to turn heads in a Toyota. Turn up your tunes in the Corolla hatchback with Apple CarPlay compatibility. Turn up your tech in Corolla with pre-collision system standard. Turn up your fun in the Camry with Alexa connectivity. This spring, turn up the heat in a Toyota. Lease Camry for $189 a month or get $1,250 lease bonus cash on Corolla. Plus, recent college grads get a $500 rebate. Find yours at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
When I was first told that I needed a mastectomy, it was unsettling to me.
Valerie came to see me as a second opinion. She said, I've been diagnosed with cancer and I need a mastectomy. And I said, what if we had other options? What if I told you that we could possibly spare you a mastectomy? And that's ultimately what we did.
I'm looking at that truck. Wow.
That's awesome.
Everyone is excited about the all-new award-winning Chevy models.
They're all really cool cars.
Woo, I love it. I can't stop staring at it.
Check them out for yourself at the auto show. Then go to your dealer to take advantage of an auto show deal like this. And now, during Truck Month, use Auto Show Cash to get a total value of over $11,000 when you finance with GM Financial, or get 0% financing for 72 months on this all-new Silverado. See your local Chevy dealer.
Bravo team moving to checkpoint.
2 o'clock, 10 feet up the right.
Visual 3 o'clock.
Sometimes the front lines are in our own backyard. Make a difference in your community, serving part-time in the Army National Guard.
Hey, Tony!
Hi, Glove.
You like baseball?
Yeah, of course.
Great. Scan this number sticker with the New York Lottery's Collect and Win app. Attaboy. You're entered to win up to $5,000 in StubHub gift cards for events like this. Now raise your hand, Chief. Enter your Win 4 and numbers tickets with the Collect and Win app from the New York Lottery.
Monday, Conforto, Rosario, Nimmo, and Alonso. The Originals get ready for battle, aiming to crush Bryce Harper and the rival Phillies at home. Coverage begins with City pregame Monday at 6:30, only at SNY.
Back to the Yanks, and as you heard at the top of the show, manager Aaron Boone said there's no definitive timetable for Aaron Judge's return to the lineup due to his strained oblique muscle. Here's what he had to say when asked how it compared to the oblique injury he suffered back in 2016.
I don't think it's as bad as the one I did in 16, but it's a different side. We'll see what happens with it.
Do you have any idea of how long in your mind?
No, but there's no need to put a time, a clock on it, because it'll happen just like what it did with the wrist last year, so no need to go down that road again.
Pete Alonso's made of steel. Dude got hit in the hand Saturday, but Adam Lee told Mickey Callaway Saturday night that he wanted to go Sunday. Why? Because former college rival Dakota Hudson was on the mound for the Cards. Alonso got the best of Dakota with a monster homer, so pleading with Mickey was worth it.
Yeah, I ran into him at the hotel. I mean, I just shot him a quick text and a phone call. Because, I mean, I didn't want, basically what it was is I just wanted to let him know that I was okay to play. Like, because, I mean, I got hit by the pitch, and I just want to let him know I'm ready to rock and roll. I mean, I'm 100%, and I don't want that to keep me out of the lineup. And also I wanted to let him know that I faced this guy before.
The two clear storylines in Sunday's game for the Mets were Syndergaard's struggles once again and Mickey Callaway's ejection late in the game over the Cano incident. For more on that, let's send it over to Eamon McEnany and Nelson Figueroa.
All right, thanks. And Nelson, you take a look at Noah Syndergaard in this performance. He falls to 1-2 after allowing the 4 earned runs with a 5.90 ERA right now. The bottom line is the Mets need a better performance start in and start out from Noah Syndergaard.
Without a doubt, because Jacob deGrom being out right now, you need Noah Syndergaard to be that 1B. He's the guy that you're expecting the most out of, the higher ceiling than most. We're not seeing it out of him because he hasn't been able to find his mechanics, his rhythm. He keeps talking about not feeling comfortable out on the mound. His 98-mile-an-hour fastball is there. It's not a velocity thing. It happens to be that he's trying to work through the top part of the strike zone, falling behind hitters, and then having to go away and go back to that old comfort zone of pitching away, and the Cardinals took advantage of that today.
2 leadoff walks in this ballgame for Syndergaard. Both men came around to score. How different a pitcher is he with men on base as opposed to with nobody on?
It seems to be since the beginning of when he came up, that has been a big problem for him. You can noticeably see the discomfort level on his face. See him try to quicken up his mechanics, see him try to quicken up his pace. That's not Noah Syndergaard. He likes to take his time to be very methodical. So that's a factor, especially when it's not even runners that are going to be stealing. Just being on base is leading to him not being able to focus on executing pitches and getting those easy ground balls, or at least trying to get more ground balls on those fastballs inside for the double plays.
Robinson Cano looking comfortable at the plate finally for the Mets lately, especially in this series, but a scary moment in the 7th when Andrew Miller hits him on the hand. What's your reaction to the call by the umpires that was a swinging strike?
It doesn't happen very often, and to me it was the wrong call because Robinson Cano is in the act of swinging, yes, but when he gets hit by the pitch, the bat is still behind him. It doesn't break the plane until after the ball has already hit his hand. The ball winds up rolling out into the field, but he's already been hit by the pitch. You can't say that he swung the bat because it happened literally almost a full second after he was hit by the pitch. So upon further review, you can't review that play. You can't go and say and challenge it. So what happens was Robinson Cano winds up having just a strike called against him, leaves the game. Lagares winds up punching out with the rest of the at-bat.
All right, preliminary x-rays came back negative, but still it should be interesting to see if Cano is in the lineup against the right-handed pitching Jake Arrieta. For Nelson Figueroa, I'm Eamon McEnany. Now let's send it back to Chris.
Thanks, Eamon. And on Monday, Arrieta will try to silence the Mets' bats again after giving up 2 runs over 8 innings in a Philly win last week. Meanwhile, Steven Matz got ripped apart down in the city of brotherly love, giving up 6 earned runs without getting an out for the night. Before, we'll see if he rebounds at Citi Field. If you happen to be in Charleston, South Carolina Monday night, You'll see this guy, the latest on Gary Sanchez and his potential return to the lineup when Geico Sports Night returns.
Geico Sports Night is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
What if I wielded the power of the Infinity Gauntlet? I could bend reality to my will with a snap of my fingers.
I just saved money with Geico.
I saved hundreds of dollars.
Nice.
That is a lot of money. The power is exhilarating. I just got something in my throat. Yeah.
Marvel Studios' Avengers Endgame in theaters April 26th.
Taking the family up to the mountains? Planning a camping trip? Or simply doing some spring cleaning to welcome your new Honda? Get a great deal on a new Honda Pilot at Honda's Dream Garage Spring Event. Honda is the best SUV brand for 2019, according to U.S. News & World Report. Hurry in to Honda's Dream Garage Spring Event.
Can we get strawberries? Okay.
Keith Hernandez here, and I'm here to tell you about the Mets Bullpen Jackpot Sweepstakes from the New York Lottery. All season long, if one of our Metsies hits a home run off the New York Lottery sign, one lucky contestant can win cash. For every game that the sign isn't hit, the Bullpen Jackpot goes up and up and up. Visit sny.tv/New York Lottery for your chance to win.
To the Nets. Turns out Jared Dudley wasn't the only Net sending a message to the Sixers and the league from the Game 4 brawl. The league fined GM Sean Marks $25 grand and suspended him for one game for entering the ref's locker room. He was upset over Embiid's flagrant 1 foul in games 2 and 4. All right, Celtics taking on the Pacers in Game 4. Boston going for the sweep. Fourth quarter, Celtics up by 4. Gordon Hayward drives by his defender and on his way to the rim for the bucket and the foul. Hayward would complete the three-point play. Next Boston possession. Hayward feeling it from deep, knocks down the three. He led the Celtics with 20 off the bench. Ensuing possession. Kyrie Irving forces the steal, saves it from going out of bounds. Celtics on the break. Jason Tatum, the big slam. Celtics complete the sweep of the Pacers, winning 110-106. Warriors Clippers in Game 4 of their series. Dubs leading 2-1. Into the first half, Kevin Durant on the ISO, steps into a three, makes the basket, and gets fouled. A 4-point play to end the half. Warriors up by 8. Third quarter now, Clippers pushing back. Landry Shamet hits the catch-and-shoot three-pointer. Clippers back in front, 80-77. But the Warriors stick it out. Mr. Klay Thompson drains the triple. He had 32 on the game. Warriors jump to the 3-1 series lead. They win 113-105. Potential good news for the Yanks on the injury front. Catcher Gary Sanchez is expected to play in a minor league rehab game Monday, and if there are no hiccups, then he'll be able to play for the Yanks in Anaheim on Wednesday. That's going to do it for Geico Sports Night. I'm Chris Williamson, beautiful people. Have a great Monday.